Honest politicians feel like a dying breed, don't they? Every interview sounds rehearsed, every answer dodges the point, and we've all stopped expecting the truth. But every so often, someone reminds you that politics doesn't have to sound fake. Zack Polanski is kind of doing that for me right now. And if you haven't heard him speak yet, you might be surprised at how quickly he might win you over. What stood out to me during this interview with this guy, it's not what he said, but how he said it. He's calm, he's direct, he's completely unpolished, but the best way possible. There's no party line buzzwords, no dodging, no pretending that he's something he's not. He's not trying to repeat the same lines over and over again. If you ask him a question, he actually answers it. Whether it's about inequality, climate, or even being Prime Minister, you get the sense that he's thinking on his feet and not reading from a script. The kind of honesty that catches people off guard. And I was trying to put my finger on it, trying to think what it is that I actually quite like about it. And then it was Wilfred Frost right after the interview, who seemed to articulate exactly what I was thinking. He said it was refreshing to hear someone that just answered the questions without the spin or the PR rehearsals. The exact quality that's been missing from public life for far too long.
You're modelling yourself a bit on what he's done, is that fair to say?
Well, it's interesting, we were roughly doing it at the same time, actually, so I think this isn't about one person's learning from another, but I think the left more generally around the world are going absolute solidarity with minority communities, with trans people, with migrants, but actually the problems that are facing them more than anything is inequality, and inequality faces all of us, other than multimillionaires and billionaires. So let's talk about what we have in common and make sure we take the fight to the right.
Do you think that you could be the next Prime Minister?
I think it's not for me right now about a focus on being Prime Minister, and that's not avoiding the question because I want to answer the question really directly. My focus right now, though, is making sure we get 30, 40, maybe even more MPs at the next general election. Now, that was what I was saying a few weeks ago. Since I've said that, I've been elected about 2 months today. We've over doubled the Green Party membership. We've had a poll where we've overtaken the Labour government. So to answer your question directly, things are changing rapidly for me and the Green Party, and now 30 to 40 MPs is starting to look unambitious. I can't give you an exact number yet because we've got to go away, work the numbers and go, actually, if we keep growing at this pretty much exponential rate, what are our ambitions at the next general election? But right now, that isn't being Prime Minister. It's just making sure we get as big a block of Green MPs as possible.
You say that 30 to 40 MPs looks unambitious for you. And I know you don't want to put a number on it, but can you give me a bit of a sense of what is the sort of target? What are you looking for? Are you, looking to enter a coalition or to be part of a government or to get over 50 MPs? What is it?
So we definitely want to hold the balance to power because actually, ultimately, what I want for this country is to make sure that we are taxing wealth more than we're taxing work. I want to make sure we have action on the climate crisis and I want to bring in proportional representation.
What does hold the balance of the power mean? Does that mean you would go into, say, a coalition with Labour or a supply and demand? What do you want to do?
Well, again, most politicians would say, I'm not going to answer that question right now, but you're asking me a direct question, so I'll give you a direct answer. I wouldn't go into coalition with Keir Starmer. This is a man who has perpetrated an ongoing genocide in Gaza. He ran on the coattails of Jeremy Corbyn, and I would say he ditched every single pledge he could. So I think the man's proven to be untrustworthy. However, I don't think he'll be Prime Minister at the next election. So it's very difficult for me to predict what a relationship between the Green Party and the Labour Party look like until I know who the future leader will be.
So what about Nigel Farage, then? Are you saying that you might do a deal with him?
No, there's no way I'd do a deal with Nigel Farage.
So if you're looking at Labour...
I'm not sure it'd be for the Green Party leader to demand who Labour led with, but I think Labour membership and people who are thinking about voting Labour in the past are increasingly voting with their feet and moving over to the Green Party anyway, as well as lots of ex-Tories who are joining the Green Party. It's interesting. Often the phenomenon is that we're just getting disillusioned left-wing voters. But actually, there's lots of people who are looking at Kemi Badenoch and going, I care about basic things like science and like decency, and actually those values lie in the Green Party too.
And for our jobs, the best authentic part of it is answering the questions.
Yeah, I know.
I've thought this for ages, that if you stick to these PR-prepared comms answers, it's not helping them. It's hurting politicians that do that. People want authentic. They can see through the answers that are pre-prepared and not being answered. And it comes across so well. And you ask some really tough questions to predict forward to being Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Normally they'd be like, gosh, I can't possibly go there.
I thought it was really interesting.
You see what I mean? He kind of speaks with that rare mix of frustration and hope, like someone that actually believes things can still be fixed if people care enough to act. I voted for Labour to have a real change for the country and get the Tories out. And next time I will vote tactically for anybody who makes sure that reform doesn't get in. But if I'm honest, the way that Zack Polanski is holding himself right now, and we didn't have this first past the post ridiculous voting system and my vote actually counted for something, I definitely would be looking at Zack Polanski's Green Party for a future vote. But what do you think? Is Zack Polanski actually going to make the Green Party into a credible party going forward? Or is it just another left-wing party to split the left-wing vote and help Reform get in anyways? Let me know down in the comments. There's a video on screen now I think you should go watch next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.